Hello and welcome to Chanakya English for our Pandey Politics with none other than Mr. Rangaraj Pandey. Welcome, sir. Sir, just in Tirunelveli, there was a 12-year-old boy. He usually goes to the temple every Saturdays, it appears. And he's a Brahmin, I believe, because he was wearing the sacred thread. 4 people supposedly attacked him and cut his sacred thread away. So I guess in the past, we have had a lot of instances where I think even last week we were talking about Periyar. And we spoke about how he spread a lot of anti-Hindu values in India, and it started during his time where a lot of people, to please him, went around cutting threads. That was the story we heard. And now, even today, we are still seeing this happen. And I believe from the police side, they've already clarified, saying there's nothing on CCTV cameras. But how do we look at this, sir? Is this still happening, or are stories still going around?
We need to wait more for more clarification, because the police has categorically denied that there is. It seems that there is no such thing happened, because we don't. They said 4 people came. And they were riding a bike, 2-3 bikes there. So they came in bike and they cut that sacred thread of that bike. So that was the complaint, and the police says that we have checked the CCTV around all those areas. We have not witnessed anything, any bikes going around together. 2 or 3 bikes or 4 people are there. So they deny that kind of occurrence might not happen. That's what police point is. And we have to wait, and that family is very much grieved, and they are very stubborn that it happened. And so Central Minister Mr. Elburan also visited that family.
Yes.
Let us wait for some more time. Adding some points to your question, Mr. Periyar, he created a lot of anti-Hindu sentiments throughout his life. He started his career as anti idol worship, God creating all those things and all. Later, it limited into anti-Hindu movement. So he was atheist. He claims himself as an atheist, but his agitations against the God worshipping, Veda, completely limited into Hindu bias. So one point. And now the current government is claiming itself as a disciple of Periyar's hierarchy. So obviously, these type of incidents may happen. It will not be a surprise if it happens, because the guts they get from all these type of ruling party, all these type of governments, that they may think that it's our own government, we will not be punished, we can face it.
The support they get.
They may get it. So that is what making things to happen like this. So in this incident, let us wait for some more time. Whether how it unfolds, we have to wait.
Okay. And so the Tirupati laddu issue. So in Andhra Pradesh, Tirupati, there's been this issue that laddus have been using adulterated ghee, and they've cornered it that AR Dairy, which is from Dindigul, Tamil Nadu, that has this adulterated ghee. And they're saying that it has some vegetables oils, animal fat, or could also be fish oil. So they are not able to tell what exactly, but it could be any of these items, and it is causing an issue there. But AR Dairy is denying it. But what is the delay in our government to look into this? I mean, shouldn't somebody jump onto this issue, because it is causing so much trouble for not just our state, but another state?
As far as I learned, state government as well as central agencies are already into that, and they have visited the AR dairies in Dindigul, and they collected a lot of samples, and they visited the office atmosphere, the production unit, and all everything. Very sooner we can understand how it works, what they did. We have to see. They deny that we have not adulterated anything. We issued pure ghee. The thing is, I recall Prime Minister Modi's speech well before he became a Prime Minister, where he was Gujarat Chief Minister. He said, in lot of shops we can see a board naming, here you can get pure ghee. So how he was telling how someone can call that we are having a pure ghee. The ghee should be pure. If it is ghee, it has to be pure.
Right.
How one can adulterate in that ghee and all, and somebody is saying that we are having a pure ghee, somebody is might not pure ghee. So it is no way it should not be. So it was our worry more than decades. But now we see the adulteration, whether it's a fish oil or animal fat or vegetable fat, that's an entirely different game. How an adulteration can happen, that's the main question I'm wondering about. Because the people known to that industry, they say pure ghee will cost around 1,000 rupees per kg. But this ghee was supplied to 320 rupees something.
Yes.
So they are questioning how it could be cheaper that way, because in temple and all the Veda, Yajna, Homa and all these spiritual and ritual things, they used to use only cow ghee, not of buffaloes or not of goat or anything. Only pure cow ghee has to be there. Gomada is the thing. So pasunai we call it in Tamil. That has to be pure form, only without any adulteration is a second part. You cannot mix even goat milk and you cannot mix even buffalo milk in that ghee. That sort of purity they seek in all the rituals and the spiritual happenings. But we know that lot of adulteration is happening even in ghee. At least in this sacred attempt in the when we are donating and giving it to temple, I think the government, the agencies, and the temple administration and the producers, they should make sure again and repeatedly they should check. Very frequently they have to check the quality and they have to make sure. I don't blame only the air diary or anybody else. It has to be the responsibility of air diaries as well as the temple board, the TT Devasthanam board, as well as the IAS officer sitting there, as well as the government, and as well as the priest who are the cooking who is at Madapalli. Everybody's responsibility to check it again and make sure that it's a pure ghee made out of only cow.
So the current CM of Andhra Pradesh, Chandrababu Naidu, has pointed out that it was the prior CM who actually allowed the committee members to bypass all these sort of tenders, right?
Mr. Subbarao, the ex-board chairman of the TDD board, he has promised in front of the temple day before, just yesterday, that if he done such bad things, let his whole family and himself vanish. He promised in front of the temple that we have not committed any crime. I doubt whether this type of animal fat or fish oil might be mixed, adulterated in that or not. I doubt. I am not completely okay with the claim of the Telugu Desam party as well as the current chief minister, because I strongly believe adulteration is there without any doubt. But the product producers as well as the board directors, members, chairman, or the temple priests, they won't take this type of risk, because they know that they are doing a very divine and spiritual work. So adulterating all these type of things and mixing all these type of things into ghee, I think that will go against their conscience. So I still doubt, because whether I am unable to come to a conclusion with that report. I also saw that report from KAF Gujarat. But I am unable to come to a conclusion whether that type of fish oil and animal fat and all those things were 100% mixed in that whether it's a assured one done thing, or they doubt, because they are mentioning a lot of things, olive oil, fish oil, coconut oil, lot of things are they are mentioning. I am just wondering whether any one of those oils were there or everything was there. That I am unable to get a clarification on that. I'm waiting for that. My gut feeling is that those people who are producing, those people who are monitoring, voluntarily they might not have done this. That is what my idea is.
Okay, but the reason for doubt is that AR Dairy is being questioned right now. So when we are pushing to, nobody is going there to AR Dairy to check their product right now. because I think they're waiting for somebody to go see, things like it. So you're giving them time. So they're getting enough time to do whatever cleanup they need to do. So when you're putting an allegation on somebody, shouldn't it be quick enough
No.
to go check?
On the day itself, state government entered there. On the day itself,
Okay.
when they Telugu Desam party released the result, and when the current IAS officer who is taking administration of the Telugu Desam, Tirupati Devasthanam, on that day itself, the air diary denied that we have not committed any mistake, we are clear. On the day itself, state government officers entered there. The next day, central government officers entered there. And I am very confident that our government are smart enough to search and check. You can purify and you can throw away all these malpractice things and all. But the government can easily smell whether such attempt was there or not. They can easily predict. That's not a challenge.
There is also another news out there that the owner of AR Dairy was also a trustee member of Palani.
He was the trustee chairman of trustee board of the Palani temple.
Right. But he got kicked out, or the whole trustee board was closed.
Whole trustee board
dissolved.
Was
Right. What is the?
He is a DMK guy. Related to DMK people. So obviously with the recommendation, he was we are running a DMK government in Tamil Nadu. So 90% of trustees appointed in temples were DMK people or DMK affiliated people. There's no surprise. So
would the DMK government have some way to kind of maybe help him out if they're really doing something wrong here?
I don't think so. They will give it up, and the air dairy has to face their own challenges.
Okay. Sadhguru had actually been repeatedly mentioning that temples should not be government's management, right? I mean, they should not be under government management, but rather the devotees should be managing the temples. So I think he's repeated that again now after this instance. How do you look at it?
I strongly believed from day one that government should be there only limited to the administrative things. They are there. The HRNC department's major duty is to check how the trustees boards are operating. They are only an auditing type of administration they have. That is what the law says. So the trustee board that will take care of the temple administration. The HRNC department has nothing to do with temple administration. They are just accounting and auditing people. They have to monitor the trustee board, whether the trust board is committing any mistake or any crime or anything, unlawful activities are happening there. They have to just monitor. That's it. For budgets like something more than 10 crores or 15 crores, some ceiling is there. For those type of budget, they need to get a clearance from the HRNC department also. The board has to get the clearance.
Appointment of priests is also HRNC?
No way. That's what they used to call two things in there, Ulturai and Veliturai. The inner side and the outer side. The outer side comes on administration and handling the assets and checking the revenue and all. Ultra is completely related to all these type of spiritual activities, the pujas, the festivals, all those things. So that is completely unsecular. That's completely unsecular. Only the temple administration and only those who are strong enough in the Vedas and Agamas and the particular temple, only they have to administer this. Even the trustee board is having a limited hand on that. They cannot interfere into the practices. So they don't have any role. But HRNC, we know that they are interfering into every other aspect because they are a government agency. And everybody will afraid of the government that we cannot overcome all those things. So the HRNC department is knowingly overruling their own law and all activities, and they are entering into that. Even after intruding into all those elements, they were incapable and they are a failure agency. They were not able to save the temple's land. They were not able to save the temple's idols. They were not able to maintain all those things. They were just handling that. They just wanted to show that we are supreme. We are controlling the temples, which is completely illegal. More than 2 to 3 judgments from High Court of Chennai and as well as Supreme Court, I can quote that. They were clearly shown the path to the HRNC where you have to stand. They cannot acquire the temple. They cannot rule the temple. They have to just taking care of the administration and all. And we are aware 90% of Tamil Nadu temples are not with the trustee boards. The HRNC's first thing what they have to organize to construct the board first for every temple. 90% of Tamil Nadu temples are without the board. That is how they operate. Only when there is no trustee board, the executive officer comes. They take over the temple directly. And they make themselves as a fit person. In Tamil, we used to call takkar, fit person. So when there is no board, a fit person has to administer. The fit person becomes the EO. So HRNC department, being a supervising and auditing authority, they jump into the administration, they become the administrator, they become the auditor. So the key completely goes to them. So if there is any malpractice happens, nobody is there to supervise. If a board does some crime or makes some mistakes, the HRNC can supervise. The HRNC person will be the fit person, HRNC person will be the EO, and they can take any money, they can handle all those things, and nobody is there to supervise. Means that leads to a lot of malpractice.
So just like Sadhguru says, wouldn't it be a good first step to take out the government completely, let the devotees manage and see how that goes, and then maybe bring in some sort of...
That will lead to a lot of chaos. What I request the government, that first they have to appoint the trustee board through each and every temple. First the trustee board. And secondly, the trustee board has to be independent, apolitical. Without any influence of the... I think 90% of the current problems will be solved in this steps itself. Then, and the government should not interfere into the rituals and practices of the temple. Then I think 100% of the problem will be solved. Because to maintain the property and asset, certainly the supervision and the upper hand of the government is essential, I think. They should not enter into temple rituals and practices and Vedas, Agamas and the routine. And they should certainly audit the accounting things. First, 100% temples should be have their own boards of trustees. Then there should not be a fit person from the HRNC department. The EO should only account and audit all those operations of the trustee boards. According to my knowledge, the EO has to be a subordinate of the trustees. But what is happening here, the EOs they become the kings and emperors of the temple. I think it has to be reversed.
Okay, and you were mentioning secularism, and Tamil Nadu Governor R.N. Ravi recently at a convocation, he talked about secularism itself is something European. It is not Indian, and for Bharat, it is Dharma that rules it, not secularism. And I think
he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. I mentioned that unsecular one, it's not secular one in the practice and rituals of the temple. That cannot be secular. We have a Dharma, we have a Sanatana Dharma, we have a Hindu rituals, and through Vedas and Agamas, we have our path, how we have to travel. So that cannot be secular. That is why gurus like Sadhguru Jaggivasadevji is claiming that the government should go away from the temples because government is secular. And you have nothing to do with the unsecular practices.
But we agree we have both secular and unsecular practices in India,
No, right? In temple there is nothing called secular. In temple there is nothing called secular. Nothing can happen. Temple itself is a religious one. How you can bring a secular? Can you make anything secular in Vak? Can you make anything secular in churches? Then how you can put your officers, secular officers in temple administration?
Religious places, I agree with you, it cannot be secular because it is a religious place.
We are talking about temples only, no?
Yeah, but in general also, when he says Bharat itself...
I'm coming there. I was clarifying that temple things cannot be secular. That's an obvious one.
Yes.
As the Honorable Governor rightly mentioned, the secular word itself is imported one from the European countries. There, the ruler often felt the disturbance from the churches.
Correct.
So they warned the churches that don't interfere into government.
Correct.
You are a spiritual leader, we are a secular government. That is what the word come. So they wanted to stop the spiritual leaders interfering into the government practices. So they called themselves as a secular government, secular leadership. Here we are not talking anything about the government. Let the government be, that is a separate one. But you should not interfere into our religious practices. We cannot be secular. I am a Hindu, you are a Muslim, he is a Christian, he is a Sikh. Everything is all right here. So individuals need not to be secular. The government has to secular. Even Mr. Karunanidhi, ex-Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, longest serving president of the DMK party, he said, there is nothing called secular. He said, what Mr. R.N. Ravi said today, it was said more than 15 to 20 years back by Mr. Karnani himself. Nobody can secular. There is nothing called secular. We can have only religious harmony. That is what exactly is his statement. Religious harmony means every religion will be there with a harmonious way. You cannot make everyone secular. You have to be secular, he has to be secular, right? There's no way. So you be with your religion, he be with his religion, I be with my religion. We all can live secure, we all can live harmoniously. That is what Mr. Karunanidhi's statement. When Mr. Karunanidhi said, nobody objected. When R.N. Ravi said the same thing, everybody is opposing. That is a surprise. And everybody knows where the root word secular comes from. It is from European. And they were against the churches. Do you see any Hindu Pidadhipatis, Madhadhipatis interfering into government? The Pidadhipatis and Madhadhipatis scared. The government is entering into their practices. No spiritual leader in India is entering into governance. They have never entered into all those political things. They were just maintaining their own things. So there is no meaning of secular here. There is no need of any secularity here. It's all Western imported, and Honorable Governor was absolutely right.
P. Chidambaram, our former finance minister, he actually made a statement that so is one nation, one election, so is federalism. Those are all European concepts. We are bringing those in. So why not secularism?
Okay,
right?
see, I need not to bring everything, import everything from foreign. I can have the foreign car. I need not to have a foreign mother.
Foreign driver.
Foreign driver is an entirely different game. So you ask, why are you having foreign car and not a foreign mother or a foreign wife? It's my wish. I can select on my own. I can pick and select, and I can own whatever I want. So if the technology and talents come from anywhere, I can have it. My family, my spiritual things, my dharma, it's all my own. We are the masters. We can preach the whole world. We need not to import any religion or any gurus from international community. We are the global masters. We are the Vishwa Guru. So we can teach the entire world. Where we are lagging in technology, we are importing it. Where we are strong enough to teach the world, we are teaching the world. So when you are capable of teaching the world, you learn from the world. I don't understand that. I am a surplus, I am enormous, I can teach the world, I am teaching it. I am lagging in the technology, I am buying it. So it's completely understandable. One nation, one election is not imported from anywhere else. It's our own idea. Our constitution recommends, our parliamentary committee recommended, Supreme Court recommended, and Law Commission recommended. So we are trying to make it for our own. India is a one nation. Even Mr. Chidambaram and all his recent colleagues from DMK parties are opposing it. They are disclaiming that India is not one nation. Mr. Ambedkar himself is a proof. He can. Mr. Chidambaram is a senior counsel, so he can check with the Constitutional Assembly debate. What was Ambedkar's point on the question of whether how the word union derives, whether union means association of states or it's a one country. He was answering all those questions already in 1947 to 49.
Right.
So it is not an imported one. And the same Congress government was keeping all the elections, one nation, one election from 52 to 67. All four elections throughout country happened in the same simultaneously. Only when Indira Gandhi collapsed her own government in Delhi, and they thrown away Kerala government, Nayanar government, only then all confusion started. Only the Congress people who dissolved the state governments and they created a lot of chaos. Even in 91-96, Tamil Nadu government assembly election as well as the Lok Sabha election happened simultaneously. So what went wrong? The idea is completely executable, possible, and we already tried all those things.
Okay. And other topics are Sri Lanka. So it has a new president now, Anura Kumara Dissanayake. And he visited India, I think, about a few months back in February. So it sounded like he had a lot of in common with India, but he's also pro-China. How do you see it shaping up?
It will be a challenge because China is very aggressive to intrude into Sri Lanka in many ways. Just to maintaining the port and making that area as their own land, and lending money to Sri Lanka, and creating a lot of bonds and make them sign in that. So China is aggressive. We are a friendly nation too with China, Sri Lanka. Being a neighbor, we do lot of service to the people. And even in Afghanistan, we in the Taliban government, still we are having a very good relationship with the government, because we associate with our neighbors with wholehearted, without any intentions to grab their land or acquire their governance or something. We are very pure. Everybody is aware. Recently, Maldives also witnessed the same. They were against us and pro-China. Later, they understood our motive, and they again shaking hands with us. So I fear the new president may be a pro-Chinese president, and it may be a challenge to us, because very recently China's submarines, the spy submarines, they were all coming, they roaming around Sri Lanka, and their government were permitting that. We objected, then they stopped and all things. So these type of things may happen very frequently in the near future, and we have to handle it very carefully. I seriously believe that, because he is from a communist background, obviously the political party and affiliation, all those things might be close to China, as well as his ideology is also seems to be pro-Chinese. So obviously Indian government may have a tough time, of course, in Bangladesh and Maldives and Pakistan and Taliban in Afghanistan, in Sri Lanka, of course, a tough time.
You're always surrounded by some sort
tough
of
time, and I think our foreign policy and neighborhood policy is very friendly, and Honorable Prime Minister as well as the Honorable External Affairs Minister, they are doing amazing job. I strongly believe that they will also handle Sri Lankan.
So should we also strengthen our marine?
We have to. We are doing day by day. I can see lot of new warships and submarines and everything. We are increasing our numbers, and we are making it Atmanirbhar Bharat, and we are making on our own. And of course, we are doing a lot of things and increasing our strength. We have to increase every day.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you for watching Chanakya English. Stay tuned for more such discussions.